Hey guys, we're back, and yes, we have been away for a long time in the series of testing old GPUs. I looked it up, and actually it's been almost a year since I did the last GPU comparison video, where we were trying to take every old GPU and put it against Fortnite. And what happened then was, this was January. The next episode of that series was supposed to be the ATI series. The problem is I couldn't get the ATI cards to run, or AMD, AMD ATI. They just wouldn't work, and I was having trouble with it, and I just kind of gave up on it at the time. And then I couldn't really find more GPUs. So this was supposed to be the next one, but I didn't have anything to compare it to. So a few months later, I picked up these. So this is a GTX 670 Galaxy, which is a beautiful card. Kepler. I don't know why I like this so much. I mean, it's like aluminum, or it might be fake aluminum, but it just looks beautiful. So I picked up this, and then I picked up this. This is a GTX 770. So I was gonna do these two cards, and then I dismantled my test bench, so I couldn't do it. And they've been sitting ever since, so it's been months. And then, as you saw, I got a new computer, so I didn't want to put these old GPUs in the new computer, and I didn't have the test bench to test anymore. So I decided to kind of reboot the series. So it's going to be the same thing, but now it's going to be just any GPU that we can find under $100, and see what we can do with it. It's not necessarily geared towards Fortnite anymore. So this was from 2013. I have no idea about this. I'm sure you guys who've been around for a while can tell me what the GTX 670 is or was. I did test a 645 in the old episodes, but it did not do very well. And then, so apparently this is 2012 release. Then in 2013, they came out with the GTX 770, which is basically the same card. This is, I like this part right here. See how it says Kepler? Very cool. I wish they made cards nice like this anymore. But from what I've read online, basically they just kind of rebooted this card into this card. So this is 770, 2 gigabyte, 2 gigabyte. They did come in 4 gigabyte versions, but these are 2 and 2. And so this 770 is just basically a faster version of this. So this would be like today's standards. It would be like the Super or the TI or whatever. They're kind of the same though. I don't know why they re-released the same card a year later, but you all can tell me. And then I picked up this. This was for emulation, which I did do, and there's going to be a different thing about that. But it turns out that this actually compares directly with these. So as far as I know, there is no 800 series, right? It went from 7 to 9. That's Kepler, this is Maxwell. But in the testing, you'll see later, this is actually pretty similar to those. even though this came out much later than those, it's not a 970, it's a 960. So it's kind of a wimpier version of that, even though the processor is newer. So it was fun. I'll show you the numbers here in a minute. And then I have the Quadro M4000 is gonna be sort of the Delta, because this card can play every game still. I haven't tried Call of Duty yet, but outside of that, I think we're gonna use this as kind of the line, the Delta, where we're gonna compare the old GPUs to this card, because so far this card is undefeated. But these are $25 each. I bought this for $25. These two, I don't have a number for, but I did look up on eBay. They do go for $25 each, either one. This one goes for a little more, but I did buy it on OfferUp for $25. So this is the battle of the $25 GPUs. This one actually still goes for more than 25 because it is a workstation GPU. They go for about 45 or so. So I wouldn't call that a $25 card, but we're gonna, in the future going forward, compare cards to this. So whether it's better or worse, this will be the Delta until I find something that's better, maybe like a P4000 or something. Anyway, let's get into the numbers and let's see how they perform. All right, so let's take a look at some numbers here. This is the old spreadsheet that I used to use, and I think I need to update this. The original series was every GPU versus Fortnite, and I think that I don't want to concentrate on Fortnite as much anymore because it's not the only game in the world. It was just kind of a funny thing that I did, you know. But so this will change. The link here to this is public. I'll put it in the description. And so basically it's just, it was originally the GPU, some specs, how much it costs, how well it runs in Fortnite, and power, clock speed, stuff like that. But I think I'm going to change this to, because Fortnite, I haven't played it in about a year, so things have changed. I guess the season changed. And so we're going to maybe just kind of tone this down a little bit. The green part here was if it could run Fortnite at 120. So actually this would be not passing here. There. Okay. So basically if Fortnite could run at 120 frames, it would get green. If it was a little less than 120, it would get orange. And if it didn't do well at all, it would be red. Also, these numbers here are from the old system. This is the same test bench that I had, but this was a while back. So I grade these out because they're not current tests. And the game is a little bit different now. I don't know how much of a difference that makes, but so here we have the 670, the 770, and the 960, which I showed you. And the 670 was good at 120. 770 was basically the same. It's a little faster. Here you can see in Dirt Rally, see it's faster, but you don't feel it. Like I've switched these cards out a couple of times, and even though on paper it's faster, I can't really tell the difference. And then the 960, actually I never tested the 960 because down here you can see it says sold before test. So the 960 I never did test. The 1063 gigabyte I never did test, and the 750 Ti did not test. So even though the 960 is newer, see here, 2015, it's kind of on par with these. The main difference is the power draw is much less. So it's 120 watts versus what you're watching here in the gameplay is, this is the 770 DirectX 11. It is about close to 120. The reason why it says 90 here is because when I record the screen, it lowers the frame rate, and I have a capture card now, but I haven't set it up yet still. So, but as you can see, it's pretty acceptable. Now I know Fortnite people would say, well, you can't really play at 100 frames per second, but the thing is, if you look here, it's kind of hard to see because it's small, but let me get this bigger. You see right here, I'm in 4th place in the game. So, and I don't even know how to play the game, and also I don't use guns, so I just use my little axe here because it's funny. So, I mean, you can have a good time. It's not competitive, really, by most people's standards, but considering the fact that this GPU would be $25 to be able to play Fortnite and have a good time, I think that's a win, basically. So it's just kind of, I would pick the 960 to beat these two, even though the 770 is technically faster. Just basically because of the power draw. And unfortunately, Rivals did not work with... I tried the 960. The game would load, but I could only get 25 frames. I thought it would do better than that, but it just didn't work. So you can see here I placed 3rd. So that's not bad. But I'm just going to assume that this is also a fail on the Rivals. Actually, I tried to play Rivals on the 770 and it wouldn't load. It just said not supported or something. So that's kind of weird. I mean, I know it wouldn't have been good anyway, but it wouldn't even load. It just kept saying not supported. Not supported, so that's fine. But we're pretty much going to do just Fortnite, I think. Rivals. Dirt. I'm trying to think of a 4th game that I can put in there. Most people use Rocket League or Apex. The problem with Apex is it takes forever to load. I put Rivals in there because it has an internal benchmark. But if you all have any suggestions about what other game I can put in there, I don't really want to do Counter-Strike because everybody does Counter-Strike, and it runs on anything pretty much, right? So, I mean, I have it, but the thing is, it seems like there's not much of a difference. So, other options are, Valorant, which I've never played. And then the finals, I don't know if people play that anymore. And I'm not sure of the requirements. So let me know what you think. Anyway, that's $25 GPUs. They did well, but the older ones took up a lot of power. So next episode of this challenge is the 1660, which I have already tested. I just have to put that footage together. And then I have the test bench video I have to finish too, where I'm going to show you the test bench. I made a few changes. It's basically the same thing, but I made a few changes to it, and we're going to talk about that. And also the fact that DDR3, I think, is holding me back a little bit, because I have tried these GPUs in newer systems and they perform much better. So we have to talk about that as well. Anyway, we'll see you in the next one, and welcome to season 2. And we'll see what else we find. Some good deals. I get up, I get down.